Time's valuable, important. So thank everybody for being here. And hopefully there's a lot of diversity of scientists, data scientists, IT leaders on the call. But hopefully, I think the goal today is to not only demonstrate the progress we're making against kind of the mission of the company and the vision, but you'll also see demos of what we've been building. As about 6 months ago, we shared kind of where we were headed, why we were headed in that direction. I think the way that science can ultimately be impacted and transformed. And so you'll see a lot of that today. And as Tammy mentioned, you can see on the right, these are products that are all part of the Dotmatics portfolio. I'm always pretty surprised when I meet people and I'll mention SnapGene or Protein Metrics or Prism, Genius, and they'll go, "Oh, I didn't realize that was part of your company." So I think it's always really important to understand what's part of our portfolio, because as we think about the strategy that we're driving towards, being able to bring all of these awesome scientific software together is kind of at the forefront of what we're doing. And you see on the left-hand side of the screen, there are really a few words, and our North Star is around accelerating AI native multimodal science. And obviously, over the past decade, the modalities in science are changing dramatically. We have antibodies and enzymes and RNA therapies and cell and gene therapies, along with obviously small molecules. And having software in an ecosystem that can map to all of those modalities is very, very important. And then as we think about AI, and I know there's a lot of talk about it, we're going to talk about it today, as we think about layering on AI to make discoveries quicker, more cost effective, we think it's really, really important that you have this solid data foundation. Better data equals better AI, and it has to be done in an AI native way. And so we're going to talk about that today as we kind of move forward. So as you think about it, and I know many on the call, and I looked at the list of attendees right before this, are in drug discovery. But at Dotmatics, we think about all of these end markets. So we think about food and beverage and agricultures, chemicals and materials. So there are more commonalities to us on the science that takes place in the wet lab, and more commonalities around software and data science than not. So these are the end markets that we map to and continue to think about serving on our customers. And I wanted to show a brief slide. And the reason why is sometimes it's hard when you have a lot of different products across the companies. And what this slide shows, and I'm not going to go into it, but what this slide shows is over the first 6 months of the year, you can see some of the product releases and innovation that we've announced here at Dotmatics. And I think what I really want to emphasize is many of you and most of you know that Dotmatics has acquired many different businesses, and you've seen the products that are part of the Dotmatics portfolio today. And one of the core tenets of how we operate and how we think about acquisitions is every single business that we've acquired over the past 6 years, we invest more in product and technology over the 12 to 18 months after we acquired it than we do previously. And that has been the case. Every single business we've acquired, there are more product people, there are more engineering people, because product innovation is ultimately what delivers value to the ecosystem and to our customers. And so I really want to hammer home that point. And we're able to do that, obviously, because we get scale and leverage as we start to grow as an organization. But it is a core tenet and thesis of how we think about operating and running our businesses. We need to invest more in product and technology. And so we will continue to do that. And we're going to talk around some of the frameworks today that are the guiding principles around product innovation at Dotmatics across all of our groups. And I think the ultimate business outcome, and everybody has seen a slide like this, but I think it's so important and always worth discussing, is digital transformation. And you could even argue digital transformation and AI transformation is what will drive efficiencies and power the predictive solutions that makes the shape of this discovery funnel more effective and more efficient. How do we move discovery from costing billions of dollars to millions of dollars? And what we've seen in other industries is digital transformation, software, frictionless and seamless workflows in a data-first way is what drives the efficiency in construction. It's what drives the efficiency in financial services, and it's what will drive the efficiency in life sciences and R&D discovery as well. We're a little bit further on this journey, a little bit behind other industries on this journey. Quite frankly, I've been a part of other industries as well, and I think part of the challenges is while there is a framework where everything looks very similar, life sciences, to me, certainly has been very unique and is very complex. And so, having the understanding of where we're driving to, yet the uniqueness of how to tailor it towards life sciences, I think very, very important. But making discoveries, bringing therapies to market in a shorter time frame, more cost effectively, is what we're all trying to do and what we're trying to drive towards. And for those of you that have heard me speak before, this slide is indicative of other industries as well. And this slide is around the digital transformation, right? And how do we actually work towards getting to the right side of the slide, the aspirational area where people are trying to drive towards automation, they're trying to drive towards leveraging AI, and ultimately they're also trying to drive towards simulation. Right? And I think those are the things that other industries drive towards as well. When you look at life sciences, I think everybody has done the foundational things pretty well, right? And so what do we mean by foundational? We replace pen and paper. We capture data digitally. There is software that is infused into each area of science so that we have data that we can actually harness. But I think the biggest challenge today with what we're seeing, and again, other industries have gone through this. That's why we feel really confident in what we're doing and the products that we're bringing to market and the strategy that we have is really in the middle, right? So when you think about the transformation, you can go to the next slide, Ryan. So when you think about transformational, it really is how do we move from foundational to aspirational? And it is the transformational section that we think most people, most customers get stuck on. And we certainly understand the complexity, but it all starts with data. It all starts with data, and it all starts with a data platform. And that platform has to be built on good market-leading technology with the understanding that we have to break down all of these data silos. We have to harmonize, model, and structure data in a way that we can actually get insights from it and drive towards the aspirational automation, AI, and simulation. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. We're going to talk not only about Luma, but how we're doing that across our entire product portfolio. And so I know this slide is a bit complicated, but let's start with the y-axis. And it really is about the value of data. The data that you have in your company, the data that all the experimentation is the proprietary asset. It is the moat. It is your differentiator. And the challenges are, how do we bring together all of those data points? How do we connect them into seamless and frictionless workflows, driving towards AI native multimodal discovery? And you can see that Luma, and we're going to talk a lot about Luma today, which is a new product that we have in the market, how Luma is the glue that connects all of our applications. So you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, Prism and Genius. I know you have to probably squint pretty hard, but Prism and Genius and Snapgene and Inquiry, all of these areas where science is taking place. In an AI native way, we can pull all of that data together and we can structure it. We can bring these data sets together, and Luma is what's doing that. And part of the other thing that you think about is instrument makers have done a tremendous job in actually building better instruments, zooming down, producing more data sets. But ultimately, harnessing all of that data is really, really challenging. And so you have to have access. In order to do this, in order to drive towards this future, you have to control enough of the data. And because we have a portfolio of applications, we're able to drive the interoperability between scientific software and instruments. And we can do that because Luma is able to do that. And we're not naive to the fact that there are a lot of other software vendors. There's a lot of other data producers. You have many third-party systems. So you have to build it in a way with APIs and with interoperability at the forefront. But I think this is the picture that you think about. How do we increase the value of your data, driving towards the multimodal discovery? And it's our applications in connection with Luma that can actually make that happen. And the other thing I'd like to note is, we talk a lot in our industry about the lab of the future, and you hear that term a lot, the lab of the future. But, internally at Dotmatics, the lab of the future truly is the science of today. And so I do think there's an urgency all of us take. And I think if you talk to the folks internally at Dotmatics, there is an urgency that we have. This isn't the future. This is the science of today. And so we have to get started. But we certainly understand that it's a multi-year journey. And so I think it's very important for everybody to understand our strategy at Dotmatics, what we're doing, show you progress against what we're doing. If you believe that the world is about automation and AI and multimodal discovery, when you do that, you have to break down all of these silos of data. And that's what we're doing as a company. So if there's anything to take away from today, and there will be a lot of information that you're going to hear from Kaleem next and Phil on the demos, but there are really three core tenets and three themes that drive product innovation across our entire company. One is data first, right? And I think we know that. Everybody talks about that, but data first has to be it. You have to think about enabling, aggregating, structuring, and harmonizing all of these data sets. And you have to do that on the second leg, which is in an interoperable way. Part of the challenges today in our ecosystem, which is very different than other industries, is there aren't standards that everybody lives to. No software vendors all get together and say, this is the way that we're going to do it. And that has happened in actually more ecosystems than it has in life sciences. And so you have to take an interoperability approach. You have to be open. It is your data. Our software enables you to collect data, whether you take it in, whether you push it out. But a core tenet of all of our products is interoperability. So you think about data first, then you think about interoperability. And then the third leg is really low code. And while, yes, low code is a technology enhancement, I think the bigger point is what low code enables is it really does drive business agility and change management. At the same time, it unifies science and IT. And so it allows you quickly to iterate on projects and requirements. You don't have to have all of the requirements decided ahead of time and then go implement. You can step your way through. It's just like an agile way of working. So it drives that agility, and it has to happen in order to make that happen. So data first, interoperability, and low code. Those are the things. Those are the themes that drive product innovation across all of our products. And I don't mean to belabor the point, but I am with one last slide. So, Altimeter Capital, for those of you that don't know, they're pretty much at the forefront of understanding the AI movement. And they spend a lot of time with Satya at Microsoft and Jensen at NVIDIA, Mark at Meta, and Sundar at Google. And they came out, and I think this is pretty obvious, but they said you don't have an AI strategy without a data strategy. We certainly subscribe to that. We know it's all about the data. And in order to drive an AI strategy, you have to have a data strategy. And one of the other things that they mentioned is they were talking a lot about Databricks. So you can see data platforms have a lot of potential here. A big beneficiary are the hyperscalers. Databricks has also done a killer job. We believe that too. We chose Databricks as our technology partner that we're building Luma upon, and we believe in Databricks. We also know that our customers have a variety of different technologies, whether it's Databricks, perhaps it's Snowflake, or something else. But we chose Databricks. We think Databricks was purpose-built from day one to enable AI natively in their software. And so we took advantage of that. We believe in that. And so we believe strongly that Databricks is a really strong technology partner. I think if you look at other people in our ecosystem that are talking about data platforms, some of them will even talk about Databricks, but their products are not built on Databricks. And so I think you have to take a hard look. We built Luma on top of Databricks, and it gives us tremendous advantages. And I think the last slide, so if you think about it and you encapsulate what Dotmatics is in one image, this is what that image looks like. We're accelerating AI native multimodal science. We have a collection of really best-in-class scientific software. That software is interoperable. So even amongst itself, it's interoperable. And you'll see yesterday we announced that FCS Express now integrates with Prism. And so we continue to push the theme of interoperability, but we're here today too to talk about how that integrates with Luma. And Kaleem will dive a little bit deeper into that, but Luma is a scientific intelligence platform that has data, AI, and adaptive workflows as core tenets of Luma. And then, as I mentioned, it's all around open APIs. It has to be. Science has to be open. We have to break down these data silos. And I'll be the first to admit, if you look at Prism or some of our products over the past 10 years, that's the reason these silos exist, because you have to pop the edges off of these applications. You have to cloud enable them. You have to make the data models transfer between Prism and Luma and Genius and Luma. And so that's what we're doing. And we're going to show you the demos. We're going to show you the progress that we're making. But we know science is open. We know it has to be interoperable. And so we think about these open APIs, both bidirectionally, ingesting data and being able to push data to the areas that you want it, because ultimately we know that you have workflows, you have systems internally. But this is what we think. This is what we believe. We're data first, we're interoperable, and we're low code.